Hi, I'm Streaky, and today I can't wait to share with you my new plugin that I've just built called Bodybuilder. A lot of people struggle with getting the sound of an instrument or a vocal to sound really thick and full. Well, that's what this does. It takes lifeless sounds and really beefs them up and can make them sound really full, bringing out the subtleties of, say, a vocal, guitar, or drums. You can also place it on your mix bus or in a mastering scenario, which I use a lot, to really get a much fuller, thicker sound without totally ruining the dynamics. This is one of those plugins that when you put it on things, you're not going to want to take it off. Trust me. But let's run through the controls of Bodybuilder and then we'll get on to some examples so you can hear it in action. Well, Bodybuilder is simply two knobs. The first knob on the left-hand side does the body of the track, so you can go from thin to fat. This brings out the subtleties in the sound to make a really nice solid sound without changing the dynamics of that sound. And then on the right hand side you have the builder section, which is a peak controller. So as you bring it down, it starts taking the peaks off but without crushing it to death. So we can get a really big sounding track or a really big sounding vocal without affecting the dynamics and the feel. It has a style knob in the middle with 3 different styles, so depending on the type of music you're doing, you can select a different style and hear those changes across the whole of the plugin. There's also a low cut and a high cut so that you can dial either the body section or the builder section into certain areas to really focus it in. There's also a mix knob so you can blend it in and out. So if you do want to do heavy bodybuilding, then you can do that, but you can then blend it out so it all gets a bit lighter in a kind of parallel way. I'm going to show you now how to use Bodybuilder on a vocal. So we can select the vocal area that we want to use Bodybuilder on by using these low and high cuts. So I'll put it around about 150 and it will start with about 7k, but we can adjust these. We also have a style setting here so that obviously you've got 3 different styles, so you can listen to those as it's playing to then make some differences, subtle differences to the sound. What it's going to do is going to bring up a lot of the subtleties of the vocal, making it sound bigger and more powerful, but without changing the dynamics too much and also without putting masses of level on. So let's have a listen to how it sounds.
Telling myself lies, just how many times does it take for my world to break? Telling myself lies, just how many times does it take for my world to break? Telling myself lies, just how many times does it take for my world to break? Telling myself lies, just how many times does it take for my world to break?
Now let's see how you can use Bodybuilder when you're using it on your mix bus. So we're not a mastering stage, we don't want to get the levels smashing to 0, but we want to get a nice fuller sound and just control the peaks at the top end. So what I can do on here, I can have it at full range so that I've got both of these at 0 and the same on this side. And so what I want to do is I can lift this. So if I want to make it thicker, but I don't want to touch the low end, I can then remove the low end from this body section. So the more body I add, I'm adding it to the rest of the signal that's above this level that I've selected in the low cut. I can also do it in the tops as well if I feel that I don't like the sound of that, but we're in the mix. And also there's a mix knob here. So what I can do with this, if I want to put loads of it on, but it sounds like it's too thick and too fat, then basically I can just blend some of it out. So it's kind of like it's in parallel. So I can go really fat with it and then blend a bit out. So let's play around with it and you can hear the different styles as well, 3 different styles depending on the sort of music you're doing. You can just check those out and see which one tickles your fancy. Okay, let's go.
waited. Now I should walk away, but I just can't replace us or even erase us. The car was stuck, the engine stalled, both of us got caught out in the snow, alone. There were times when I forget the lows, I think the highs were all that we'd ever known. We're stacked against us both. I will always love you for what it's worth. Never feel like feeling on the overpass. I know times may change the way you think of us. I remember the way we were. You were the first full stop, love that we never leave. Baby, you will never be lost on me.
This is how we use Bodybuilder when we're mastering. It has a feature on it which is an A button here, which means it's going to auto gain it to 0, which means as we're controlling the peaks on this side, we can get the level super loud just by grabbing the peaks and bringing them down with this here. You can see the amount we're taking off on the meter. We can change the style here depending on the type of music you're doing. Then in the body section, we can get it as fat as we want, and then we can blend it out with the mix, or we can just subtly touch it. So we're doing about 1 there. And we can also just do the mids by having the high cut at around 8 and having this around sort of 300. We're taking away the extreme highs and extreme lows, and we're just building the center body of the mids. So the mids is what gives you a really nice perceived loudness. So you'll hear you can get some nice thickness in the sound from using the body side, and then you can really build the sound and the level on the peak controlling on this side. So let's have a play. The track's a kind of pop song, so let's see how we go. You can look on this meter here around the integrated LUFS, so you can see how loud you're going. I would always suggest going around -8, but you can see on this you can get it pretty loud, and also the perceived loudness is something that's pretty cool. So check this out.